Hello, my name is Brian Neal. I'm doing the concept review presentation on the Gothic literature present in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein for Dr. Julie Naviaux' Literature 2 class. First, I wanted to start off talking about the characteristics of Gothic literature in general, which include the words of wonder and terror throughout the novel, as well as other words that relate to wonder and terror as well. The presence of storms, having an evil presence throughout the novel, as well as decay and death. Those go hand in hand. Having overhyped characters like the monster in the novel, and having melodramatic writing, which is writing with lots of an emotion, use of very complicated words and everything like that, as well as the use of thee and thou throughout the novel. So the first characteristic of Gothic literature is the words of wonder and terror, and there are so many examples throughout the novel. I just gave a few. For example, the first one was talking about Mont Blanc. Victor went up there for a hike after the death of William to clear his mind, and he was gazing at this wonderful suspended scene. That's, of course, is an example of the word of wonder, since he seemed to love the area. The second example was a thrill of terror, and it's in the quote itself, and this was actually said by the monster, thought by the monster, when he was looking at Justine's body. He was examining her, deciding what he should do with the death of William and how he had the photo of Justine, and he decided to basically put the photo in her and blame her for the murder since she was related to Victor. The third example was basically thought by Victor. After the monster decided to tell him to basically create another monster for the monster, Victor was, multiple times he went traveling and he was contemplating on what to do. And of course nature seemed to be a huge theme of the novel that was wonderful, where people went and, where Victor went and thought that everything in nature is wonderful, and that's where he thought all of his thoughts. And then the fourth example was, soul of foes, our relationship was devoted to the wondrous nature. Was yet again the creation of the monster, wondrous nature, yeah. That was just Victor's personality in general, how he loved nature and stuff, and he read the monster. The presence of storms is another common theme throughout the novel, and also another component of Gothic literature. There's different quotes, and there was multiple examples throughout the novel, but first was the thunderstorm where Victor actually realized that he wanted to create the monster and wanted to get involved in science. Was the first thunderstorm he saw. He saw the oak tree caught on fire, catch on fire. And then the second example was just after he created the monster, he was really annoyed with the parents. He really regretted it, and so he was running in the rain, and of course the storm shows the bad that goes on in the novel. And the third example, yet again after a bad experience, he was walking through, and this was, I believe, after the death of William. He was walking through, and then in the night with the rain, and he saw the gigantic stature, the monster, basically, and it made him realize that the monster was the killer. And then the fourth example was right on his wedding night with Elizabeth, and right before her death, of course, a storm came in and managed to basically foreshadow in a way that she was going to die by the monster. The other characteristics of Gothic literature is evil presence, and here are multiple codes throughout the novel that basically show certain signs of evil presence. Of course, the first one is talking about William worried about the monster trying to kill him, and the monster did end up killing him. And then the second one was him demonstrating and thinking about putting the picture in Justine's pocket. And the third one was a work of destruction. I guess was the monster threatening threatening Victor for not creating the monster. He wanted the monster created. And the fourth one was actually just a foreshadowing of Victor finding out about how the monster killed his wife. He saw the monster, and then all the description in the quote shows the evil presence as well. Fourth characteristic of Gothic literature is the overhyped characters, which in the novel, it definitely mainly was the monster. These are 3 quotes that talk about the description of how he looked and all that, and it was definitely overhyped, because it's not realistic that you can bring something to life from dead parts you find out of a graveyard. But his yellow skin, he had really defined muscles and arteries, very tall, very strong. And the second quote talks about him talking to Victor. My height is superior to thine. My joints are more supple. Very descriptive details. And then the third one, yet again, this was Walton's look on the monster and description. He was gigantic in stature, and his proportions are distorted, and the fact that he looked like a mummy. So very, very overhyped. The fifth example is decay and death, which is definitely prevalent throughout the entire novel, as well as pretty much all the other characteristics. And definitely, the decay was basically the monster itself was made from decayed body parts from a graveyard. He looked decayed. I couldn't fit a quote in there to describe that, but the quotes are previously mentioned with the descriptions on the overhyped characters. But death is prevalent throughout the entire novel. Victor's mother died from scarlet fever after trying to treat Elizabeth from it. William Frankenstein was murdered from the monster because Victor would not acknowledge him. And then Justine yet again was murdered because of Victor because the monster framed her for the death of William. The death of Henley Clerville happened, which was Victor's friend, because Victor would not create another monster for him, as well as the death of Elizabeth. She also happened from the monster because, yet again, Frankenstein would not create a second monster or show the monster any love. And then the end of the novel, Victor Frankenstein died chasing the monster. I don't believe it says exactly how. It wasn't from the monster itself, but it was from either natural causes or from old age. And the next characteristic of Gothic literature is the melodramatic writing. The entire novel is pretty much written melodramatically. However, these are some pretty big quotes in the novel from big parts. The first part is just talking about the Victor's mother's death, how she died. It was very descriptive, very emotional. And the second quote was when Victor first saw the monster again and tried talking to it, was yelling at it and was really mad at it, and how it killed everybody in his life and everything like that, and it screwed him over. And the third quote was actually from the monster's point of view, when the monster tried to present himself to humans other than Victor, what actually happened, and it was very descriptive of the fighting and whatnot that happened, how he was beaten, and that how he was really depressed from the beating and whatnot, and how he didn't actually really fight, he just ran away. And the last characteristic of Gothic literature is the use of thee and thou. Throughout pretty much the entire novel, there was lots of conversations between Victor and the monster, and they used thee and thou, and it was mainly prevalent because the monster was reading old novels, which were mentioned throughout the book, like Paradise Lost and various others, and he was reading those, and that's how he learned English. And also it's just a prevalent feature in Gothic literature too. So they use that. The first one is definitely by Victor, abhorred monster, fiend that thou art. And then the second one was just the continuation of the monster's response to that. And also the third one, yet again, is from the monster talking to Victor. And as well, so was the fourth one. And the final slide is the references slide, which is, of course, all the references came from the novel Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which was originally published in 1818. This one's been remade in 1992. And here's all the page numbers used as well. And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned something from this.